Hello, how are you today? Here we are once again. Our new presentation is about animal liberation, environmentalism, and spirituality. And we welcome you. Welcome to Refill 100, Religion, Philosophy, and Science for All. And we start like this. Nowadays, animal liberation continues to raise animosities, controversies, and opposing views. The discussion centers on whether animals should be treated with care and respect, as well as on whether they need to be liberated so that they can have a better life in their environments of origin and free from pain and suffering. Animal liberationists don't want to see animals in attraction parks, circuses, zoos, or labs anymore. Besides, they are against animal businesses, companies, or labs that abuse animals or make them suffer for the sake of entertainment, testing beauty products or new medicaments on them, or just for the sake of meat consumption. Individuals opposing this liberating perspective, that is, those who hold classical anthropocentric views, do not see any need for this discussion, as they place humans at the center of the world and give them power and freedom to do with animals, plants, and nature all that they want. For, according to them, humans are on top of the created order and therefore can do with it as they please. The arrival of the climate change and global warming crisis has led part of the human population to review their anthropocentric positions and understand that we need to make use of the plants, animals, and the entire earth within the limits of what is reasonable and acceptable. For indeed, natural phenomena today, which are connected to climate change and global warming, are indicated that if we are to live without immediate or unexpected disasters, it is imperative that we ameliorate the life of the oceans, animals, plants, and the species in danger of extinction. Accordingly, those supporting this sort of weak anthropocentrism, or what has been called shallow ecology, are now defending animals, plants, and the environment. However, at the same time, they also continue to maintain that the earth, animals, and plants must supply humans with the meat and materials that they need to cover all their needs. And so this ambivalent position leads us to understand that although ecology focuses on the relationship between humans, living organisms, and non-living beings, the shape and depth of such a relationship can be classified in at least three different types, namely shallow, deep, and reverential ecology. Let us look at each of them. In shallow ecology, the relationship between humans, living organisms, and non-living beings is not deep or a committed relationship. Rather, it is an instrumental and egoistic one. For indeed, humans take care of animals, plants, and the environment, not because they are truly interested in protecting them, their rights, or their place in nature. Rather, they protect animals, plants, and the environment for their own sake, for their own benefit. For indeed, they know very well that if they do not do so, the consequences will soon enough be disastrous for them. Hence, the supporters of this perspective raise animals and plants with a good level of care and in a relatively secure environment. However, they do not recognize or give them any intrinsic value. For them, the earth, animals, and plants have only instrumental value. Accordingly, the earth, animals, and plants continue to be there at the service and convenience of humans. For example, they use animals as pets, or sell them to other people, or convert them into meat, leather, or wool, among other things. This type of ecology, therefore, is highly anthropocentric and egoistic, and unfortunately is the ecology that we hear about day in and day out. But there is a more radical type of ecology, namely deep ecology. The supporters of this perspective don't see animals, plants, and non-living beings as entities that only have instrumental or useful value. Rather, they also recognize that such entities have intrinsic value. Animals and plants, according to them, have value for themselves and in themselves, and deserve respect and live an undisturbed and happy life to the extent that it is possible. True, deep ecologists still use animals and plants and benefit from them. However, that is done in a more conscious, respectful, and even grateful manner. This type of ecology goes one step further and recognizes that humans, animals, plants, and other non-living beings depend on one another. They all belong to the same web of life. This type of ecology, hence, endorses biospheric egalitarianism. That is, the view that all living beings and things alike have value equally, independently of their usefulness for human purposes. This perspective sees organisms, human or otherwise, as knots in the biospherical net and maintains that close partnership with other forms of life in nature contributes enormously to the quality of life that we have. In this type of ecology, humans identify themselves with nature and can enlarge the boundaries of their self. And thus, self-respect goes beyond the boundaries of their own skin. And they also recognize their, so to speak, larger self as deserving respect too. Thus, to respect and care for themselves is now also to respect and care for the natural environment. Next, there is also a third type of ecology that we can call reverential ecology. This type of ecology is being promoted by Satish Kumar, a Jain who is committed to raising consciousness regarding ecological issues and human dependence on nature and the earth. In this type of ecology, animals, plants, and the environment are not only respected by the principles of deep ecology, but also appear as part of human spirituality. Being a Jain, Kumar rejects the dualistic worldview used and promoted in the West. For such a worldview makes us believe that we exist independently of the rest of the world. Kumar, on the other hand, highlights how relational philosophies and perspectives center around mutuality and reciprocity, and points out that animals and plants and all species are members of one earth community. For example, according to Jainism, the key to all existence is in giving. The sun gives light to the plant gives fruit to the birds distribute the seed, the seeds give themselves to the earth, and earth gives life to the seed. Here you see a network in a circle of life. Kumar also claims that plants have a kind of mystic generosity in providing humans with fruit and other essential resources. Further, he says, animals have also that kind of generosity. A chicken, for example, provides humans with a constant supply of meat. In that context, therefore, all living organisms can be seen as sacred, as producers of life, and not just as being things, products, or the property of humans. This view, hence, elevates the relationship between humans and the environment to the spiritual level. Now, humans then do not have the right to disturb, destroy non-living organisms, or use the lives of living ones for egoistic purposes. The opposite is the case. Humans belong to nature, and together with animals and plants, they are members of a complex web which makes our being and life possible. Preferential ecology, hence, recognizes human sacredness and promotes human spirituality. However, we can accept and exercise this type of ecology only if we come to understand our codependence, our interbeing with others, and only if we come to respect the intrinsic value of animals, plants, and the environment. Now, while animal liberation should be promoted as much as possible, it is evident that there are limits to how animals could be liberated or how to live an undisturbed or painless life. For indeed, nobody ignores that humans need animals and plants to survive. Without animals and plants, human life would easily come to an end. Therefore, realistically speaking, a fully animal or plant-free society is simply not possible. However, It is evident that one point of failure of the animal industry is the mistreatment of animals in farms where animals live in small and overcrowded spaces and where they are poorly or violently treated. By the same token, everybody understands that an irrational deforestation of trees and plants just for the sake of economic gains makes the world unsustainable. Such situations are examples of practices that animal liberationists and environmentalists in general strongly reject. Further, any normal individual with a sense of responsibility, empathy, and compassion will also reject these kinds of situations and practices. To conclude, deep and reverential ecologists claim that animals, plants, and things like rivers have the right to live and have an undisturbed life. Humans should seriously reflect on the rights of living and non-living organisms, as well as on the links that we have with them. And then, once we have reflected, we need to act accordingly. Because at the end of the day, we are part and parcel of animals, plants, and the rest of the environment. In other words, we all are one with the earth. Well, dear friends, this is the end of this presentation. We continue to invite you to help us promote Refill 100. Please subscribe. And if you have already subscribed, please invite other people to do so. And we will continue here. And in the next presentation, we will continue talking about religion, philosophy, and science. This is all for today. Best to all of you. See you next time. Bye now.